While many people might have gone outside this summer, touching grass and enjoying sunshine, I dedicated myself to the anime summer 2023 season. After watching episodes from more than 20 shows, I'm here to tell you what was the best and worst series of summer. My Happy Marriage was the best romance anime of the summer. Legitimate love blossomed between Mio and Kyoka as we saw them become better versions of themselves from it. The journey of Mio from an abused and unloved person not allowed to dream of happiness to someone that refused to give up her love and fought for what is most dear to her was heartwarming. For many, fighting to overcome some great evil is what they equate to being a great protagonist, but sometimes the hardest battle to win is the one within themselves. This is why My Happy Marriage was a standout from the rest of the romance to me. On the note of romance anime, The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses was the most overhyped anime of the season. Nonetheless, it was still good enough to complete. It's a wholesome and innocent exploration of young romance. The lack of focus on anything besides Komura and Mei's relationship made for a one-dimensional show, and Mei leaving her glasses behind so consistently doesn't really feel like a realistic thing. Being so one-dimensional hurt the ability for the main characters to define themselves outside of their relationship, with the only defining things being Komura liking arcade games and Mei forgetting her glasses all the time. The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses is an anime that appeals to a younger audience and is carried by the artsy scenes. Maybe if I was much younger, I'd have enjoyed it much more. Then there was My Tiny Senpai, that didn't do anything to grab or maintain interest in it. I keep giving these types of romance anime a chance. I always think I'll be able to relate more with characters closer to my age. However, the scenarios are treated as if they're an innocent elementary kid's first love. It's fine if they want to showcase inexperience navigating a relationship, but this isn't successfully done through being an innocent romance in this case. I'd hope in the future we get to see the exploration of more mature themes that adults can better relate with. Then finally, the overrated romance anime Masamune-kun's Revenge R that after many years of waiting has returned. The season went about as I expected. It remained the same level of mediocrity we've seen previously. The anime has so many characters thrown in that lack interesting motivations and are just there to be rejected by Masamune. The thing that aggravates me most is Aki's unwillingness to accept Masamune as he is now instead of who he was in the past. I don't have a problem with the from enemies to lovers trope used here, it's just that Aki is such an unbearable character to deal with. The best ongoing anime of the summer, and nothing was even close, would be Bleach 1000 Year Blood War: The Separation. The fights are amazing, the rationale behind almost every character's actions come across the screen, and in cases of many of the longtime cast, we saw them develop further to fill the void left behind in the Quincy's attack. Kenpachi is a longtime favorite of mine, so seeing his evolution into a composed warrior was even more terrifying than the moments we've seen him as a berserker, and shows why he's treated as such a threat. Topping it all off, we got to see what Squad Zero was really all about, culminating in an insane showdown between them and the elite Quincy's led by Yubaba. If there was one thing to critique, it would be the backseat Ichigo took after being so active in the first part of the 1000 Year Blood War arc. Other than that, this was the anime I could barely contain myself waiting for the newest episode each week, and this is why this was the best anime for me this season. Zom 100 immediately rose to be one of the most popular anime of the season. Though I didn't know what would be in store, I was optimistic about a zombie anime, and the first episode blew me away. Tendo, an office worker dealing with long hours with unreasonable expectations, and the disillusionment of his dreams all combining to create a scenario where all he wanted was an end to the never-ending loop his life was in. In a turn of events, zombies become a driving force of the story, allowing for the escape from that endless loop, and now Tendo can seek forgotten dreams with his newfound freedom. This is the story I thought Zom 100 would be, and to a degree it was, but really all we got was an anime that waved away the years of bitter emotions that appeared important to make room for comedy. With the production issues leaving the anime in a perpetual loop of starting and stopping, and now on indefinite hiatus, any additional interest I might have had is now killed. But anyone being honest with themselves knows other things will fill in that gap left behind. With this said, Zom 100 was the most disappointing anime of summer. The best fight scene is from Jujutsu Kaisen 2nd season between Mahito and Mechamaru. There are a lot of fights this season some might point to and claim were better or carry greater importance to the anime. To me, the fight between Mahito and Mechamaru was the best pure fight of the season. Often other anime try to pull off a fast-paced battle scene, and we've seen that there is a trade-off in the quality. Jujutsu Kaisen managed to pull it off here with a seamless, smooth sequence of Mahito narrowly dodging Mechamaru's attacks, particularly through his idle transfiguration technique. If there was a trade-off, it wasn't noticeable enough to water down the experience and didn't happen later on when Gojo used his domain expansion. Mushoku Tensei's second season was the anime I had been patiently waiting for ever since the second part finished airing. This show is one of the best isekai of all time, as well as being the best isekai of the summer. This is because it doesn't abandon who the main character was before being isekai'd, and found a balance between having a strong protagonist and obstacles that are difficult to overcome. The second season wasn't the insane follow-up to where we'd left off in the story some might have wanted, but was an important opportunity for Rudeus to look inward and address some of his problems. The main obstacle being his lack of libido came off as ridiculous, but when unpacked, this is a legitimate premise. Being abandoned by someone you've become so close with is bound to have negative psychological effects, which we see represented in the anime. The downward spiral that left Rudeus unconfident and fearful that getting close to someone would end up in the same way. Time and time again, Mushoku Tensei has shown its willingness to ask difficult questions and distance itself from the plethora of mind-numbing power fantasy isekai. I look forward to whatever is next in store for us. I also just wanted to give the Great Cleric an honorable mention for proving me wrong and not being a bad isekai. Lucille is a much more fleshed out MC than isekai normally have, which helped to elevate past my initial impression. Geto from Jujutsu Kaisen was the best antagonist from the anime in summer. I found the use of a flashback at the beginning of the season to be disorienting, however it can't be refuted that it was important for understanding his motives behind betraying the Jujutsu sorcerers and allying with cursed spirits. As we transition back to the present, Geto's actions make much more sense, though more unpleasant with the new knowledge, standing in stark contrast with Gojo's willingness to use unmatched powers to protect the humans he seems aloof to. Level 1 Demon Lord and One Room Hero was surprisingly a good anime that went under the radar. I expected this to be bad due to the possibility of the many Demon Lord hero tropes we've seen before. Instead, I'm happy to be wrong about it. We got the fun premise of the hero that defeated the Demon Lord being a bum, and the subsequent story of the Demon Lord ironically trying to turn the hero back into the rival he once was. Classroom for Heroes, my unique skill makes me OP even at level 1, and am I actually the strongest? These are all amongst the worst anime I've watched of the season. They suffered from being as bland as possible, with no new or different perspective to keep the viewer's attention. Each one felt like they were trying to fit in as many anime stereotypes as you can, and made them all the worse for it. Out of the worst shows this season, the one that seemed to have the most promise was Ulterior Riza. The problem here is the anime did little to build interest in the cast of characters or why we should care about the main storyline. I can only assume this was meant to appeal to the fans of the franchise or game series and didn't want to put in the effort to stand on its own as a good anime. I should have followed my own advice when I put this anime in the skip tier. My takeaways from summer 2023 is that the season of summer seems to lean more in favor of producing multiple romances, and the year 2023 has felt like a down year for seasonal anime in general. This can of course change with the fall anime coming around and then winter after that as well, but that's just how I feel right now. I decided to return to the award seasonal wrap up since the spring one performed below my expectations. I apologize for how long it took to get this seasonal wrap up out. I had to prioritize my semi-annual performance review at my job. Everyone that's here at the end of the video, you're my new favorite viewer, and I don't say that to just anyone. If you didn't like the video, I'm very sorry. Let me know the reasons why it failed to be good to you in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video, and don't forget to support it by liking it, sharing your thoughts in the comments, or sharing the video with someone that might enjoy it as well.